Today is the 4th of July, and many people will celebrate this holiday in the same way they celebrate capitalism. I mean, I'm not going to openly celebrate it, but I'm going to take advantage of all the benefits. To believe or not to believe in the Constitution. Do you know Frederick Douglass? Calm down. Do you know Frederick Douglass, the constitutionalist? And do you know Martin R Delaney, the nationalist? Throughout our beautiful Black history, scholars, activists, and leaders have not always agreed on how to deal with progress, white supremacy, and Black nihilism. Some of you may be familiar with the intellectual sparrings of like a Du Bois in Washington, or a Du Bois in Garvey, or a Du Bois in Zora Hurston, or a Du Bois in Baldwin, or Du Bois in anybody who had an opinion. However, let me address a slightly less flagrant disagreement between former business partners in Douglass and Delaney. Douglass, as some of you may know, was a disciple of William Lloyd Garrison. He started off as anti-Constitution under the tutelage of William Lloyd Garrison, who was a pacifist that held to two major tenets: unconditional emancipation and emancipation now. And the second tenet was non-resistance, no involvement in the political system whatsoever. Garrison and other abolitionists believed that abolitionism required pacifism. An article in The Liberator reads as such: did Christ come to suffer and die for his enemies, or to make them suffer and die for him? He never, by precept or example, taught men to prevent or to conquer evildoing by brute force, but by love, kindness, long-suffering, and suffering and dying ourselves. However, Douglass would soon change his views by stating ballot box, jury box, and cartridge box. And cartridge box was not Nintendo cartridges. It was, you can get this lead. But here's the most surprising and incendiary change. Douglass believed that the Constitution in itself was a glorious document, and that the Declaration of Independence had great principles. And once Douglass changed his views on the Constitution, he was labeled a sellout by Garrison and other white abolitionists. A sellout? Slow down, Travis Kelce. You can Dougie, but he would smartly debate that slavery was never mentioned in the Constitution, and therefore forced the hand of pro-slavery politicians to either see the Constitution for what it was, as he saw a glorious document of freedom and liberty, or to expose themselves as anti-constitutional. And the likes of John C. Calhoun would have to do just that by stating one of the biggest mistakes of the American Revolution and documents like the Constitution was the poisonous fruit of individual liberties. Damn. Douglass truly believed that the Constitution secured the blessings of liberty, and that the Constitution shall be interpreted as it ought to be interpreted, as a glorious liberty document. A document where the laws were sufficient if only they were followed and applied to all people. Except women, because right now it's not about you. You guys gotta wait. Now on to Martin R. Delaney. Martin R. Delaney was an abolitionist, an author, a military officer, a doctor, and he was one of the first Black men to go to Harvard. He was a Black nationalist who believed in relocation. Delaney was a co-editor with Frederick Douglass at the North Star. However, Delaney broke away from Douglass and Garrison when he began to promote a migration to Central America. This is what he says: I should be willing to remain in this country, fighting and struggling on the good fight of faith. But I must admit that I have no hopes in this country, no confidence in the American people, with few excellent exceptions. He also criticized the Christian response to slavery, pacifism, and non-resistance by stating this: the colored races are highly susceptible to religion, but unfortunately for them, they carry it too far. They usually stand still, hope in God, and really expect Him to do that for them which is necessary they should do for themselves. While Garrison and many abolitionists believed you should preach the gospel and practice non-resistance, and therefore change will come, Delaney was of a different mindset. Okay, preach the gospel, but I will also literally slap the hell out of you. Delaney was a proponent of relocation. He himself lived in Liberia, a country established by the American Colonization Society, in an attempt to solve the integration problem for free Black individuals. However, we are going to conveniently skip over the part where Black folks went to Liberia and began to enslave other Black folks. Delaney returned from Liberia during the Civil War to fight as a soldier for the Union. He was like, oh, wait, you gonna give me a chance to legally kill white folk? Oh, I know you think it's for your benefit. No. Listen to what you're saying right now. You saying that I can take up my musket and kill me a white man. He said, I got to deal with some trauma. In conclusion, I share this as an opportunity to learn, but also as an opportunity to see ourselves as an assortment of applications when it comes to address injustice. But at the same time, I am mourning the disintegration that is prevalent in our public discourse. Many were shocked and probably still are shocked by Douglass's view on the Constitution. And dare I say, he probably thought what Satan meant for evil, God meant for good. Because despite the ill intentions of the writers, they penned words that were far beyond their moral foresight. And today we see that America, because of its Constitution and amendments, offer liberty and great principles, but oftentimes people get in the way of those principles. It is possible to love America and loathe its history. It's possible to love its principles of freedom, but loathe the obstructions that impede it. It's possible to have lost hope in this country, like Martin R Delaney. But I know one thing we all can agree on. Ain't none of us going to work today, and we should be eating good. Or don't eat good, because you have the freedom to choose.